So welcome to ProfileTree TV, and today we're very excited to be joined by Oliver from Farm Compare. So Oliver, thank you very much for taking time out to talk to us today. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure, Ciaran. My name is Oliver McDonald, and I'm the co-founder of Farm Compare. And I come from Middletown, County Armagh, and I'm a farmer, and reared on a dairy farm. So we have since changed then, moved away from the dairy farm and into rearing dairy-bred beef cattle, and we take them through to slaughter, and some we sell at local livestock marts. And we also are very passionate pedigree limousine breeders. So we have a herd of pedigree cattle, and I suppose that's where the heart lies is with the pedigrees, and we show them at some of the local shows, and we've done quite well at Balmoral show, places like that. And we sell some of them from home and some of them at the society sales. So we also have a small contracting business on the farm where we hire some equipment and things like that. But the main business is the beef. So I also have a background in construction. I worked as a site engineer for many years as well out. So yeah, we're kept quite busy. There's a Farm Compare was started from the farm. Myself and my wife started the business, and it's nice to keep in touch with the whole farming community. And I feel very privileged to be part of it. That's where it's all started from.
No, amazing, and we share a common interest. I'm from a dairy farm as well. Grew up in Monaghan, so I know that. But it's incredible that you've seen the opportunity to bring a little bit of digital into the farming space and spot the opportunity. So so people who don't know what Farm Compare is, what do you do?
So I suppose Farm Compare, it basically helps farmers choose equipment wisely and farming products. So what Farm Compare does is we take the manufacturer's products and we simplify the whole process of sourcing them products. So we standardize the information, so all the manufacturer's information is in a standard format. So when a farmer does come on looking at a piece of equipment or product, they can search quite quickly down through the different ranges, and the information is presented to them in a standard format. So it's easy to follow, and you can see all the information under the one roof. It's all there for you to view at your own time. And then we connect that farmer with the dealer of that piece of kit in their local area. And so it's basically seeing what you want and then find where to get it. And it's to simplify that process. And you mentioned the technical side of it, and farmers are very technical. It became a very high-tech industry, and so that's what we wanted to tap into. And it's for manufacturers to showcase their products to the niche audience and create brand awareness. And then off that, the dealers connect with the farmers that's looking at products. So it's a very direct service, and it gives everybody a fair chance. And it's backed by a heavy amount of information.
Wow. And is it important to be able to give manufacturers a direct route to talk to farmers? Is that something that's really important in the platform?
Well, it is. Manufacturers are always looking at edge over their competitors, and it is such a competitive market at the minute, and it has become a worldwide market now. On the island of Ireland, there's so many manufacturers of high quality equipment who are exporting all over the world, and there are also manufacturers from around the world trying to get their equipment onto Irish farms. And so it is so competitive, and if there's a niche audience that they can tap into, then yes, they love Farm Compare. They love to get in front of that farmer at the start, even if they're only thinking about looking about machinery, because some of this machinery is extremely expensive, and it's not click on buy. They want to come on and check that the farmer wants to make sure that he's spending his hard-earned cash or her hard-earned cash wisely. So, you know, they might come on several times before they actually go through and request that information. But it's so that for the manufacturer, it's to be in there at the start, in first. And, you know, it's a great platform for them for doing that.
No, amazing. And I guess, you know, when you started this as a tech platform, did you find that there was challenges that you had to overcome? I'm thinking of the early days, or are you one of the lucky ones that sailed through and had no barriers to overcome?
Well, yeah, the challenge, I suppose, was getting the product market fit, you know, to make sure what we were, you know, what my idea was, is that what the farmer actually wanted? So, you know, I'd thought about this for quite a while, and, you know, the idea for Farm Compare was come from frustration, basically. For when we were getting equipment for the farm, I was tasked with getting the information. So you'd be sitting at night and you'd end up with 5, 6, or 7 different websites opened on a, you know, pen and paper, writing down notes from this one and that one and taking different and converting different links to the other. But that was my frustration. I needed to make sure that that was a frustration that other farmers had. So, you know, it was a lot of questions, a lot of phone calls, a lot of visits to see, you know, friends and neighbours and see what they were doing. And, you know, we went to Balmoral Show in last year, 2019, and with one product and an idea, you know, as an MVP, just to see what people thought of it. What was this worth going on with? And the feedback we got was fantastic. And, you know, that's where it came from. Challenges, yes. The farming community is high tech, you know, and to harness that and give them something new was the challenge. Get our name out there in front of as many farmers as possible. And, you know, it has worked a treat. We are very, very happy with how it has worked for us. So yeah, it's a great industry to work in.
Incredible. And is that how you identified or confirmed there was a gap in the market using your MVP at Balmoral?
Yeah, absolutely. To go with one product was a challenge, because to get users, you need products. To get more manufacturers' products, you need more users. So it was, when you're going and presenting an idea to people without thousands of users behind you, it was difficult. But when people are at the shows and them types of events, they're very open-minded. So when you approach them, yeah, they do take on board. Whenever they're in the hustle bustle of everyday work, you know, you mightn't be a priority, but whenever you have them at the shows, it's a great place to get across, both to the manufacturers, the dealers, and the farmers. So yeah, it was exciting. It was nervous going to Balmoral, no doubt about that, because we had put a lot of effort into it, and, you know, to validate your idea was the main role in that, and it's just went from strength to strength.
Incredible. And do farmers face a lot of challenges around equipment? Is there, did you see a common trends, or a lot of farmers are facing problems? I can imagine, again, I'm thinking of my father. He wouldn't have been, you know, mentioning a website or looking at something on a mobile phone. There's no chance. But he'd want to know the weather and the latest headlines every day. But did you see unique challenges yourself?
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. You know, farmers are, the farming industry is generational, so you usually have 3 generations on the farm, and yeah, but they have moved towards technology, and when they see it working, they embrace it. They are quite open-minded. But what I found was that even though we wanted all the new equipment, my father is very much involved in the farm. So it was us presenting to him the information that we had gathered, and you know, make the decision from there. And we have a little nephew on the farm, and, you know, if you ask him a question, the phone's out and he's tapping, and, you know, he'll have the answer for you very, very quickly. So yeah, look, at the technology is there. It's just it is tapping into it, and, you know, farming can be underestimated for just how technical they are. And, you know, so it's for me personally, it's great to bring our side of the tech to the farming community and present it to them. So yeah, it's exciting times.
Amazing. And how do you make the process easier then for the farmers? What's your unique selling point?
Yeah, well, the majority of people have their phones with them. So whenever they're looking at equipment, whenever they're out and about, they can check, you know, what's available. So maybe traditionally the farmer was looking down the road to see what their neighbour was using, and or maybe had to go to the local dealer and just take that model of equipment that that dealer had. As I said earlier on, now it's a worldwide market. So that farming community will know what's available, and it's getting the right machine for their job. So, you know, if you have real steep hilly ground, then that massive tanker that you might want isn't suitable. So you can check out what's available. Maybe it's a recessed tanker for no under center of gravity. You know, that tanker suits your tractor, suits your land, and you know, it's very important that you get the right machine and get the right information to choose that machine. And so to validate that inquiry, the farmer has at his fingertips now. He has the information, and he can see the reviews and see what other people think of equipment. And you know, the videos of the equipment is very, you know, is very much to the front now. For farmers love to watch other farmers farm and see what is there, and that's what we want to tap into as well. And you know, it's not all serious. You know, it's good to have a wee bit of fun along the way too, and present the information in a nice way. There's a very informative way of doing it, but there's also ways of doing it, you know, that there's a wee bit of enjoyment in it too. For spending that money, it should be an enjoyable experience, you know, getting new equipment to move on and improve the farm. But after a while, I found it just a torture, trying to get the information and have it all in one place that I can compare one to the other. And so that's, you know, that's basically where it comes from.
No, I can actually see the sweet spot. You know, there's information overload, and we all have it. And you know, I think if I'm buying a new laptop or anything, TV, you go and look at reviews and comparison sites. So it's incredible. I'm kicking myself now. I think it's a brilliant idea. I think it's brilliant. Of course, you know, and farming is so important to our economy in Ireland, for employment and for everything we do, and how we export around the world. So no, I think it's an amazing idea. When I heard of it, I was just going, that's genius. In regards brands, so you've worked with a lot of brands over the last few years. You wouldn't mind giving us some examples of companies that you've actually worked with?
Yeah, look, it's been an absolute pleasure traveling the length of the country to see different manufacturers. And you know, we have a wide range of manufacturers on board now. And you know, I suppose just to name a few, we would have Keenan Alltech, Major Agri, Fleming, you know, household names in the agricultural world, and fantastic companies exporting all over the world. But it's important to get across as well. Yes, them big household names are fantastic, you know, to have on board, but it's also important to realize that the small engineering practice out in the country with 2-3 welders on himself, you know, he has his place on the platform. It has to be fair for everybody, and everybody gets an equal chance. So yes, we have a lot more brands coming on over the next couple of weeks. And yeah, whenever you get to that level of number of manufacturers, it just becomes that wee bit easier. You know, that the manufacturers looking in can see, yes, these people are doing very well out of this, so we want to be a piece of that as well. So it improves the offering that Farm Compare has, and the manufacturers also bring along their dealerships, and these guys are super people with very modern facilities, you know, to keep that farmer on the road, keep the backup service going. And you know, it's important for that, for whenever you invest in a machine to do a certain job, that if there's a problem with that machine, you can go back to your dealer network and have it, if it breaks down, get it going as quick as possible. So yes, I've like a child in a sweetie shop going around these places, and it's great to get an insight, get a look into the factories, see who's behind the companies, see the technology that goes into designing these machines. And it's an absolute credit to them and to the industry for, I think across the island we punch way above our weight for the standard and level of manufacturing that we have. And to see them flags flying across the world is fantastic.
No, again, I totally agree. No, it is what an incredible industry, and everyone works so hard in it to deliver the best that they always can. And when you're going to factories and you're talking to manufacturers and farmers as well, safety is a key element of equipment today and always has been. Do you see that safety in farming equipment is more important today, and is it part of what you highlight to your users?
Yes, look, safety comes first. We work in one of the most dangerous industries in the world, and with the sheer size of some of the equipment, it's naturally dangerous if it's not looked after. And looking at the machines, for me, safety is to the fore, and safety guards and things like that. It's always in the mind of the designer how to make that machine as safe as possible, especially when there's moving parts on it. And we do hear the horror stories, but farming goes on no matter what. Farming keeps going, and it's a high pressure industry, and it only takes a split second for somebody to get injured on a farm. And that's why it's so important when choosing equipment that you are taking in all the safety aspects of that piece of equipment. And for ourselves too, we are in talks now with more manufacturers for equipment such as livestock handling equipment. And we've had a fair share of injuries on our own farm, none serious, thank God. But when you're handling cows 900 kilos and bulls over a ton weight, an accident can happen, whether it's maybe not a violent animal, just a bang or a hit or a knock, can cause serious damage. So there is more and more emphasis coming towards safely handling animals and livestock on the farm, and it's fantastic to see. And yes, both governments have granted some of that equipment, and there's new technologies coming out as well, for artificial intelligence in machines, so that if somebody is in the wrong place at the wrong time, that machine can be cut off. And I think anything like that to save a life is worth investing in. And things like the handling of slurry and that type of thing, having the right guards in place, when you're taking the slurry out and things like that, it's critical. And that's, as I said earlier, that split second, should have covered, should have taken a chance, that has to be ruled out. And farmers are very aware of it. There's different organisations there constantly promoting and trying to make farmers more aware of safety on the farm, who's on the farm, is everybody accounted for, things like that, but also supporting families after an accident, especially if fatality has occurred on the farm. And I think that's invaluable. We are a very tight-knit community, and even though we're dedicated to what we do, it's a job at the end of the day, and it's important that everybody that goes out that morning comes back home safely that evening. And but it's nice to see the manufacturers focusing on it and making sure that every piece of equipment is safe for that user. So yeah, definitely.
Amazing. And I'm thinking that just as you're explaining that, you see manufacturers then bringing in more technology and AI then into the farms.
Yes, absolutely. And I was, even at this stage, I was very excited about it. And the technology involved in it, whether it's the dairy industry, the poultry industry, crops, whatever it is, and people are using satellite systems now for steering tractors and making 100% use of artificial fertilizers and sprays, things like that. But they're also monitoring the crops from satellites, and the technology involved with livestock now to make sure that they're getting the most out of the inputs into the animals. It's mind-boggling, and it's getting better all the time. And if we can help promote that to the farming community for the people that's putting their time and effort into it, that's what we want to be about. So yeah, it's exciting times.
But you're there, and I remember my grandfather's the dairy setup compared to my father's, compared to technology today. It's just incredible what's happened over the generations. So looking forward to seeing what happens next. It is amazing. And we're talking about the agriculture, the industry itself. You see it continuing to evolve this way?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the world population is increasing, so everybody has to be fed. And I'm sure you've heard it said too, some of the people that we are trying to feed think we are trying to kill them. And it does be joked about, but especially at home here, we produce some of the best food in the world, and I can see it increasing. Yes, of course it's competitive. As I've said, everything's now a world market, so we have to be on top of our game and to make use of the natural resources that we have at our hand. And I think it's important that we become as open and transparent as possible to the outside world. Show them what we're trying to do. It only takes one bad story to darken our industry, whereas the vast majority of people look after their land, look after their stock to an exceptionally high standard. And I think that's what we need to get across. We need to make use of our resources, at the same time protecting our environment. And the people that's in charge of the environment or looking after the environment is the farmers. And they don't want to destroy that environment. They want to look after it and embrace it. And we need the support of the outside community in doing that. And I know at home, with the pedigree side of the livestock, you're constantly trying to improve, get them animals up to the best that they can be, and set them off and let for breeding, and that continually trying to improve the stock at home. And that's where the heart lies. It's with the animals, and it's with that passion for farming that I believe it can continue to grow, and be part of that, to be out and about with the manufacturers, the dealers, and especially the farmers, where it's them that makes us tick. If we haven't them coming to view the products, to view what's on offer, we don't have a business. So yeah, it's exciting again. Like, and we're certainly looking forward to the rest of this year, and later this year we hope to open up to GB and take our platform over there and see how we get on and just build the numbers up. So yeah, good times.
Amazing. So, and is that the future plans? And you've given us a little glimpse.
Yeah, that's, well, I suppose that's where our immediate future lies, is to go over, see how we get on over there, and then of course if it's working there, there's no reason why it can't work further afield into Australia or New Zealand, or further afield as well, because farming's farming, no matter where you like the different types and different situations, but we all face the same challenges. And we want to build on the products, and so when the farmer comes, we have a broader base of products for him to him or her to examine and look at. So yeah, we're aiming to expand now that it's a long way away from one product at Balmoral last year, and our next big show was the ploughing championships down in the south, and I was absolutely blown away by the standard of equipment and agricultural products on display down there, and for 300,000 people to come through a field in 3 days, you know, it's an absolute credit. And yeah, of course, we're gutted it's not going to happen this year, but you know, there's other things to consider at the minute, as you know. But yeah, I think it's a very healthy, when you see that number of people coming through to see the agricultural world, it's in a healthy condition. And you know, we met a contingency from New Zealand and Canada, and you know, they're excited to see what's going on here, and as we were to see what they're doing. So yeah, it's the worldwide market now, and we should embrace it and take it on.
Sure. No, incredible! What exciting times ahead. So and then I guess we can't escape a conversation without mentioning COVID. Did COVID have much impact, or didn't really impact what you're doing?
Business wise, it just left that I couldn't go face to face with people, but you know, it left it that we could drill down in and see what was going on at the back end of the business. And you know, like we were involved in an investing program at that time, which had to go virtual. And yes, whenever it was happening, you were sitting going, what are we going to do? How are we going to get through this? But you know, we are resilient sort of a bunch. And well, one benefit, it left, you know, we have an office in Belfast, so it left that there wasn't an hour and a half commute each way each day, and several minutes on the Westlink in Belfast. So yeah, it was different. And just I met a New Zealand farmer at the end of last year, and he had a book called The Resilient Farmer, and I thought it was a brilliant name, you know, for we are faced with challenges all the time, whether it's COVID-19, bird flu, swine fever, whatever it is, droughts, floods. But it's I you know, when you look around our neighbours and all, and everybody's still going and still working and still putting the produce out, getting the food on the shelves. It is a resilient industry that we work in, and we've got our own challenges too at home on the farm, and I've come through them. So yeah, it's lovely. And you know, to have the children coming through for the next generation, you know, it's been left in good hands. And some of the educational programs that we have now with education colleges, agricultural colleges, both north and south, you know, they're second to none in the world. And you know, the quality of young people that's coming into the industry it's fantastic, and it's lovely to watch and see, you know, them coming up through and taking the thing on and building on what has went before them, and the changes that, you know, my father would have seen on our farm. When you hear him talking about what he was doing when he was young, you know, they were still on horses on the farm, you know, milking cows by hand, things like that, right up to where they are now with robots milking cows. One thing that I thought would never have worked, but you know, it's working. So yeah, embrace what's happening, and it's very important to keep an open mind. You know, no matter about what you're looking at, what you see, if it's an idea at the start, keep an open mind on it, for you just never know, it could be the next big thing. And, you know, we'll keep going and see what happens. But yeah, it's great.
Incredible. No, brilliant. No, thank you very much. So if anyone's watching this, Oliver, what's the best way for them to find out more about Farm Compare and even to connect with yourself?
Yeah, well, the website's www.farmcompare.com, and we also be on the usual social media challenges, and you can contact me through them. And you know, so as I said a way back, farmers love watching other farmers farm, and that's where we get a lot of our traction from. And you know, so yes, we can be reached there. And if there's any farmers looking at equipment, even if it's not listed on our site at the minute, there is a place where you can put in "not found what you're looking for." Send it through to us, and we will run it past our dealer network that just may have a link to that piece of equipment. So yeah, it's very versatile.
Amazing. So if you don't have a product on your site, then people can actually go ahead and upload it, request it, and you do a little bit of hunting for them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, you know, so you're doing all the hard work.
Yeah, we do the donkey work, for the want of a better word. So yeah, don't be afraid to put it on, even if it's an unusual request. With you know, with the contacts we have and the dealers we have, if they can't find it, there's not much chance of it being found. So we'll certainly do our best for the farmers. Yeah.
No, that's brilliant. No, again, no, really good to know. And again, thank you for your time today, Oliver. Really appreciate you taking time out and having a chat with us.
An absolute pleasure, Ciaran. Thanks very much for having us.
Amazing. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed our conversation with Oliver and finding out about Farm Compare and how digital marketing is going through farming as a community here in Ireland as well. So please do check the links below this video and check out the website farmcompare.com and see what they're doing. We look forward to hearing about their English, UK global expansion. We'll see you in the next video. If you did enjoy it, please do share. Thank you again.